Good morning, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for joining. My name is Eulica Beasley-Kimber, CPA. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about inventory management and how money could be leaking out of your pockets or just because of poor inventory management. You might be missing tax deductions, that kind of thing. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. You can roll forward a couple of slides. One more. Yeah. So I'm Eulica Beasley-Kimber, CPA. Been doing this for over 30 years. I attended Virginia State University, Go Trojans. I got my MBA from the College of William & Mary, and I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So I have familiarity with the vendors and conferences and that kind of thing. But as a CPA, sometimes I'm not talking about you unless I'm talking about you. So sometimes an accountant can tell kind of how your business is run, how your tax return looks. And we're not judging, but whatever your profession is, you pay attention and see it everywhere. So for instance, if I'm at a vendor, I have family members who are AKAs, who are Zetas, whatever, and I'll go to the vendor table and I want the same shirt and in multiple organizations so we can do a group picture next time we're together. But when you text me the receipt, it just says 4 shirts. Something is wrong with that. That means some inventory is not being tracked, or you are not able to connect your inventory and get inventory reports. And I want to give you some steps to help you improve that. Go forward one slide. So poor inventory management has a lot of challenges, and it could be costing you money, frustration. So it's a lack of, first is a lack of inventory visibility. So items may appear to be available and actually sold. You might have too much of something. I know it's an issue when I say, hey, do you have, we're at the conference and we're yelling, hey, to try to get somebody behind the table's attention. Hey, do you have this in a extra large? And you go looking in the box. Your first look should be to the inventory system in your Square or whatever it is to say. So if I was in Target yesterday, and no, it wasn't Target, it was Walmart yesterday. And I asked the person, hey, I'm looking for this. I saw, it was online. And they did not go running to the shelf. They looked in their handheld device to see if they have it. And they said it should be. And the lady walked me over there to it. It was actually a flower pot. And that's a certain kind I wanted for my house. And she said, oh, yeah, it is here. It is here. And we have different colors. So just making sure that so before your next big event, today I'm going to give you some homework to kind of get you organized a little bit and have you with a better inventory system. It causes confusion, lack of SKUs. And no, we are not Walmart or major vendors, but some things you have technology to do. You have technology to set up individual names, SKUs. It could be AKA 123, DST 123, whatever it is. So you can run inventory reports. So you don't have duplicates. So you know when to order. You should not have to dig into boxes to figure that out. Also, pricing mistakes. I've seen vendors where, like, literally, I know that person's coming up with the price off their head, or they're trying to remember, and they're keying something in there just to process my transaction. Also, checkout issues. So at some point, if you're not there, you want to grow to the point where you don't have to be on site every time, or you can have a helper. But if all that information is in your head, and it's not organized in a system where a person say, oh yeah, this is the short sleeve striped shirt in the Omega Sci-Fi. They should be able to do that without coming to you or looking to the owner every single time, and you can have it. So and also it makes for incomplete records and missed deductions for your accounting person. So move forward. So if you do these things, your accountant will love you. So I'm gonna give you 3 steps. So first, you're gonna categorize, organize all of your inventory by type, collection, and event. That's t-shirts, hats. You need to know everything that you have. and you're going to perform a physical inventory. Count all items before they go. I don't care if a box just came or you got those printed or imprinted or whatever. Someone needs to lay hands or lay eyes on every piece of inventory before you write it down as this is, I have 8 of these, I have 9 of these, because you might have a few that's damaged or you might want to discount those or whatever, but you need to do a physical inventory of your entire inventory before you come out. Then you're going to decide on units. How is it sold? Is it going to be individual? Is it going to be packaged? Is it going to be a set? Is it going to be, because that's going to impact the next step of how you set up in your point of sale system. Also, I mentioned this before, you're going to create SKUs that are clear and consistent naming convention. Is it going to be the type of shirt, then the organization, or is the organization going to be first? But you're going to make it easy and identifiable. So if you needed me to come help, you don't have to give me 30 minutes. You can say, hey, this is our naming convention. This is where they are. And you can easily recognize what a piece of merchandise is based on the SKU. And you can come up with your own naming convention just so it's easy for you. And you're going to document all this. So you're going to write down, check off or whatever, every piece of inventory, every kind of inventory, every variation of inventory. So if you might have 3 kind of Delta short sleeve V-neck shirts, but they have one has a pattern, one has then the naming convention needs to represent that. So that's some homework you got to do. That's step 1. That will take you a little time. So go to step 2. So then you're going to add these items the way that you figured it out into your point of sale system. And I have been a vendor at different events where I have books and other things I'll tell you about, but I spend most of my time, and this is a book thing, I think it was a bunch of authors, going around to every vendor's point of sale. I said, can I see your point of sale screen? And I see like, it's not broken down. And so I help them add that inventory. So when you when you text the receipt or however the person chooses to get it, they see a professional invoice. That reflects on you. That reflects on your business, how organized you are, that you're tracking your inventory externally to the customer, but also internally so your records are straight. So once you have this list from step 1, you're going to go into the name, description, price, category, and that SKU that is going to appear on the customer's receipt. Make sure things are spelled correctly, consistent, uppercase, lowercase, however you want it, so it looks neat. Then you're going to add modifiers. So if you have one shirt, but it's sold in small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, or whatever, then they can buy red shirt, XL, color blue, whatever organization. It's organized because you want it to start at the beginning inventory. Then as you sell, you should be able to run a report and see what you have left. You're going to add images because you can do that. Oh, go back. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I read it. So you're going to add images that you can see on the screenshot I have there. And you're going to enable a inventory tracking. So to make sure that, and you're going to also set low stock alerts. So when I drop below 5, give me an indication when I log in. Okay, now you can go forward. So then step 3, none of this works unless you connect your point of sale system to your accounting system. That's QuickBooks, Wave, Xero, or other tool that your accountant may be in the background, and you don't have to send them a report if you have that. It's already connected. They know that you went to this convention for this organization on Saturday, and these are your sales, and it connects to your inventory. Because on their side, they're also looking at the purchases of those things. So you brought the raw material, the blank t-shirt or the whatever, and you're also adding the cost for the embroidery or putting the design on or whatever it is that you're doing for the merchandise that you have. And so connecting that means you always have a seamless reporting of where you are. And I think that sometimes in sometimes I work with mostly African-American vendors. I just recently helped the African-American barbers. You can walk into Walmart and think, oh, I can't do it at that level. No, you can accept a credit card. Yes, you can have a nice professional receipt. There's some things we can't do. We're not going to have a big box store, but there's some things that you can do, and your customers are accustomed to that. We want the same experience. So connecting to that will always make sure it helps you with your cash flow. Make sure you're not buying inventory that's not moving. Because sometimes as a business owner, I get the same way. You love a certain thing and that's you only see eyes for it, but people are not buying it and it's stocking up. So you don't blindly just purchasing inventory. And your accountant will call you out and say, hey, I see this inventory is not moving. What's up with it? So also you're on number 2 on this list, you're going to match those SKUs to the items in your accounting system. So when you're buying the blue shirt with the V-neck, with the whatever, we know it goes to this SKU. So then you have the right cost. I have found some clients aren't charging enough because you aren't tracking how much inventory costs individually. You could have, if you would have added $2 or $3 more to the price of that shirt, it would have made a big difference. But because you're buying in bulk and not organized and not seeing which inventory you purchase goes with which product, and when you're adding stuff to it, which is cost for adding designs or getting things customized, you might not be pricing to get to the margin that you desire. But you can only see those things when you have a good system that's connected from your point of sale system to your accounting. Then we also the fourth one is the mapping. So that's what your accountant will help you do. Make sure this is the revenue line for convention sales. This line is for online sales. And then the cost of goods sold are those inventory costs. But if everything is a big hodgepodge, it's just going to make it hard for you to see yourself clearly as to what happened that year. Then you're going to test the connection. You're going to make sure, I'm sorry. And so monitor updates. So you're going to run reports for the, at the beginning of the week or how often you're selling. And then none of this works unless all of this is going through your business bank account. And if your accountant was here, they would break out in a church shout, or organ would come. This stuff cannot be purchased through your personal account. You can't have some things that you bought with your personal debit card. You can't have money coming to everything in and out needs to go through one business bank account, one main business bank account. You may have a separate account for payroll or for other things, but to keep confusion down, it needs to be simplified. Also, I'll give you a free tidbit. It also needs one main business email address. So you're not getting things in different places for the business stuff. You might have one that's customer facing, but for your business stuff, where you sign into your QuickBooks, where you sign into your Square account, it should be one business email address. Okay, next. I beat you up a little bit. So are there any questions? So I'm going to read the comments. It says, I can testify how true this is, as I had to fire and the goods loss was over $56,000. I had no idea that I had that much inventory. Correct. So when you cannot see yourself, anything can be happening. Things can be disappearing. If you have that beginning balance, you have purchases, you have sales. So that ending balance should be what you have in your system. If it's not, that means something is growing legs. So this got damaged, you got lost or whatever. Does anybody have any questions? You can come off mute if that's okay.
Also, I'm glad that you brought up, you gave some great nuggets of wisdom, especially when it comes to running a business. One question that I do have, the services like that platform that you were showing, is that something that you offer through your services, or do you have recommendations?
Oh, you mean like the point of sale system?
Yeah, I think it was a few slides back, and you were showing how you input, your inventory.
So it's the point of sale system. And I think from my being at the Delta conventions,
Uh-huh.
most people are using Square or something like that, or it might be a part of their sales website where they can use the handheld, and I have my handheld device here where the person can tap their card. Most of them have that. Y'all can give a thumbs up or say yes in the comment.
Yeah.
Most of them have it, but they haven't fully set it up to use the capability to make sure that the inventory tracking part, they're not doing the back end. So somebody said yes, Square. So they have that because they need that to get the money from the customer. They're just not using. So when I gave the example, when I wanted me and some of my friends to have the same kind of shirt, and they had like the AK-A1 or what they had the Delta one, and I wanted us to have. So when I saw the receipt, it just said I bought 4 shirts. It wasn't separated. So then that means they aren't. So if I ask them, "Do you have this?" That means they got to dive in a box, which is okay. But your record should be the first place that you're really relying on for those. And Sherry. So Sherry, you saying you set it up, or are you gonna set
No,
it?
I'm set up. One of the things, I love the nuggets that you shared, because I can tell you, like, and you'll see my presentation next. Being in business for so long, I was one of those who did not have a good tracking system years ago. And so I am using Square inventory tracking. It links to all points of sales that I do. And even staff, if I'm not there, staff also have it on their phone where they can see exactly where the inventory is at. And even with a picture, they can even find the inventory.
Yes. Sherry gets an A for the day. Okay. Darylyn has a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had my hand raised, but I've never used this format, so I
because I
didn't
don't
know
see
you
it.
could see. So I do use Square for my business. I don't know if y'all can see me. I'm struggling with this format. So I use Square, and I do use the inventory component for tracking, and I do have my items with the modifiers and all that. But where I'm struggling is I'm a mostly handmade business. So I don't order a lot of already made shirts or inventory like that. I have a lot of raw material inventory. And I got a CPA last year, and that has been great. But I'm still struggling with how to organize and keep inventory of my raw materials. I've been doing like an Excel sheet, but I don't know if there's a better way to do that component.
I don't know there is a better way, because only you would know how much you use for, like, if it's yard. I'm just take my example. Like if it's you're sewing something and you have yarn or whatever, it's very hard. I would make it akin to like a cake baking business. You just know when you buy this big thing of flour, I can get umpteen on average. How many cakes can I get out of this? But you do need to, let's take the cake baking. That's a good example. So I have pounds of sugar and flour and the ingredients, and then I have to, on average, figure out how many cakes I can get out of it, price it accordingly, so I can still be making a profit. So if that cake was $32, really it should be 35. But I'm just used to selling it at 32, no matter what so you're gonna always have to pay attention to how much you're paying for your raw materials. And that might be something that's hard, that your CPA won't be able to know that, because only you know you're buying these materials to create these things. And I would make sure that I would say make your price a percentage. Like it takes this amount of money to make this thing, and I'm gonna make a 20%. I don't know. I'm just throwing that number. I don't know what y'all's profit margin is. 20%. So you're gonna back into it your pricing, and maybe your pricing can't be the same at every event. It depends on how much you're paying for inventory, and you're gonna make sure that you're using up those items. So if you buy whatever your raw material is, you're using it up, and so that cost is accounted for, and you're making a profit there. So you're gonna have to just watch it very closely, and don't be buying a bunch of stuff that you're not ready to make, if that makes sense. Like don't buy
That's my
years
problem. That's my problem.
So a sale is not and I had to learn this for myself because I'm a shopper, right? Just my personal
Right.
life. So if I don't know, if I love coffee cups and this is my coffee cup and I just love coffee cups, it's not a sale if I buy 100 of them. I haven't saved anything. It's only a savings if I am getting the advantage of it and able to make a profit. So just because you see something on sale, even if you see that don't mean you got to buy 500 of them because then you're eating up your cash
Right.
and you might not be able to turn that over. So I would say my advice to you would be to control that, see what you can make in a month or what you need for a particular event, and try to stay as close as that.
Okay.
So someone is saying it is a way to combine platforms for all these things. And one thing you probably said Etsy, TikTok, eBay, so that sales can go through one Shopify. I do not know. I think there is a Shopify for Etsy, but I'm not sure if that's something I can look into to help you do. I do. It depends on how you sell and where you sell. You may have to maintain separate inventories for. I know TikTok is very strict about like you have to ship it in 2 or 3 days. Like it has to be out the door. TikTok is about speed. You're telling me there's a way. Okay. Oh, she's telling us, stating the fact that you can combine everyone. But the key there, especially if you're selling on multiple platforms, is you have to manage your inventory closely to make sure that it is so there's a service agreement for TikTok. Yeah, for 2 days. You have to get TikTok, it has to be fast or they'll cancel their order. But just making sure, and if you don't mind, I'm sharing my last slide. But I hope that
Okay.
helps.
And after Eulica finishes, we will have Shimonia. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. If
I
you don't
just want
mind
to let
showing
her.
my last slide. Just making sure. So if you want to connect with me, you can scan there. Eulica Beasley-Kimber CPA or Plan2Prosper Small Business Academy. If you go to my website, I'm so proud, and I want to tell y'all. So I wrote a book called The Black Woman's Business Bible, and it was just recognized in Essence magazine as the top business books
Oh,
that you want to read about
oh, that's
for
beautiful.
Black women in business. And so if you go to my site, you'll see up in the top right, it's a button there for you to read. Thank you. I was so humble. I was so humble, so humble. They never talked to me. They never, and that came to my just Black Women's Business Bible. So my focus is Black women in business. I do help Black men, but I really am excited for you to be here today. And I find that where I can help, I will. And sometimes we are good, we have great ideas, but I want to make sure that we carry it across the finish line and we increase our bottom lines and generational wealth that helps our community. And sometimes we kind of slide on some of the details because we think it's not important. But I want to make sure that you're plugging up those holes in your pocket and you're not losing inventory or damaging them, losing track of it and losing money. And I want us to be able to see ourselves clearly, which is that financial report. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And great information. Uh, 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 Great information. Thank you so much. And congratulations on the book recognition as well. So that was Eulica Kimber. And I know that you have a third name there, and I don't have the paper there in front of me. So I'm going to look at it. Eulica Beasley-Kimber,
That's my
and
maiden
she,
name.
your maiden
Yes.
name, and she's a CPA. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. So please connect with her. And if you have any other questions of Eulica, you can place them in the chat box.